So I was standing in my kitchen this morning, just, staring at my toaster.
Yeah.
It's a weird place to start a deep dive, I know. But I realized I have absolutely no idea who provides the electricity that powers it.
Right.
Is it nuclear, coal, solar? I don't know. And honestly, I don't really care. As long as the toast pops up, the voltage is irrelevant. And looking at AI in 2026, I think we finally reached the toaster phase.
The toaster phase. I really
Yeah.
like that. It's so unglamorous, but it's actually a massive compliment to the tech.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're trying to make sense of where we actually are with AI. It's 2026. The screaming headlines have sort of stopped. The God model panic has settled down. We're looking at a piece called Beyond the Hype, Mastering AI Workflows and Judgment in 2026, and it just feels like a very sober reality check.
It is sober,
Yeah.
but it's also optimistic in a really practical way. I mean,
Yeah.
if 2023 was the year of magic, 2026 is definitely the year of utility.
Yeah.
The dust has settled. We aren't waking up every Tuesday wondering if a new chatbot is going to take our jobs by Friday.
Which is a huge relief. I think a lot of us were just exhausted by that adrenaline spike every week. So here's the roadmap for today. We're going to unpack why AI models have basically become commodities.
Like the electricity in your toaster.
Exactly. Then we're going to look at why the dream of the autonomous agent kind of failed and why workflows are the actual solution.
And my favorite part, why the non-technical people, the people who can't write a single line of code, are suddenly the most dangerous people in the room. In a good way, of course.
We'll also get into some of the scarier stuff later, the silent errors and why your messy file folders are probably hurting you more than your prompting skills. But let's start with that first point, the commoditization of intelligence.
Right.
I mean, I remember 3-4 years ago felt like a horse race. Every week there was a new leaderboard.
Oh, yeah.
You had to use GPT-4 or Claude or Gemini, and if you used the dumb one, you were falling behind.
It was so stressful. That anxiety was real. It was FOMO, but for software. But if you look at the trend analysis now, for 2026, that whole logic has just completely collapsed.
How so?
The gap between the top models has shrunk to almost nothing. Researchers call it clustering.
Clustering, so they're all just bunching up at the top.
Essentially, yes. I mean, think about cars. A Honda, a Ford, a Toyota. Sure, there are differences, but they all get you to the grocery store at about the same speed. That's where we are with models now, whether it's OpenAI, Google, or even the open weight models.
Hang on, let's pause there. Open weight. We hear that term a lot. For the listener who just wants to get work done, what does that actually mean?
Simple version. It's like the home-brewed coffee versus the Starbucks. Open weight models are AI brains you can download and run on your own laptop or your company's private server.
So you don't have to rent them.
You don't have to rent them from a giant tech company. And the crazy thing about 2026 is that these, home-brewed models are now just as smart as the expensive proprietary ones.
That is a massive shift, so I can run a world-class intelligence on my own hardware.
Exactly. And because of hardware advances, specifically what companies like Nvidia have done with chip efficiency, the cost to run these things has just plummeted. It's cheap.
Which brings us right back to the electricity analogy.
Right. When the cost of intelligence approaches zero, and the difference between providers approaches zero, nobody cares who has the smartest model. The competitive edge isn't my AI has a higher IQ.
Right.
The edge is my AI integrates better with my email client. The whole competition is moved from raw intelligence to just friction reduction.
I have to say, there's a huge sense of relief in that. It feels like the pressure is off, but it does raise a question. If the models are all effectively the same, and they're all cheap, where does the competitive edge actually come from now?
It moves entirely to the boring stuff.
Yeah.
How well you integrate the AI into your specific mundane daily tasks.
Boring is good. Boring implies reliability. But, if the models are so reliable, why aren't they running the company for me yet? I thought 2026 was supposed to be the year of the autonomous agent, right? The digital intern. I just tell it, go launch a marketing campaign, and I go play golf.
The super agent dream.
Yeah.
We were all promised that, weren't we? Go plan my vacation, go file my taxes. But the reality of 2026 is, it's messy. The source material highlights a really telling stat from McKinsey.
What's that?
Fewer than 10% of organizations have successfully scaled fully autonomous agents.
Less than 10%. That seems incredibly low given the hype we lived through. Why did we get that so wrong?
I think we underestimated the chaos of the real world. Real work isn't just one big prompt. It's a sequence of hundreds of little steps and gut checks and context switches. And when you let an autonomous agent loose, if it makes one tiny mistake in step 2,
It carries that mistake forward.
it doubles down on it. The article calls it the blast radius.
Oof. Blast radius. That sounds catastrophic.
It can be. Imagine that digital intern. It misunderstands a client's email in step 1. Then it drafts a reply based on that misunderstanding. Then it sends the reply. Then it updates the database. By the time you check on it, it's hallucinated a feud with your biggest client and filed the paperwork to fire them.
Right. I mean, humans make mistakes, but we usually catch ourselves before we, burn the building down.
Exactly. We have situational awareness. Agents don't. And that's why the trend has shifted so aggressively toward workflows.
Okay, so workflows.
Think of a workflow like stacking Lego blocks of data. You break a process down. Step 1, AI summarizes the data. Stop.
A human checks it.
Right. Step 2, AI drafts the email. Stop. A human tweaks the tone. Step 3, the human hits send. You aren't removing the human, you're just tightening the loop.
It seems like the winning formula is to limit the autonomy to very specific, predictable steps. So we aren't replacing the human, we're just removing the drudgery.
That's the key. We keep the decision-making power, the judgment, but outsource the repetitive execution to the machine.
And that shift keeping the decision-making while outsourcing the code, that leads to what I think is the most fascinating part of this report, the rise of the domain expert.
Okay, this is hands down my favorite trend. It's a complete reversal of the hierarchy we saw just 5 years ago.
Walk me through this, because for the last decade, the advice was always learn to code.
Always.
If you didn't know Python or SQL, you were sort of a second-class citizen in the tech world.
Correct. If you had a great idea, say you're a supply chain manager, and you wanted a tool to track inventory better, what did you have to do?
File a ticket.
You had to file a ticket. You had to find the dashboard person. You had to wait 3 weeks for an engineer to maybe build it for you. You were at the mercy of the technical gatekeepers.
I have been there, waiting a month for a simple report because I couldn't write the query myself.
We all have.
Yeah.
But AI, it acted as the great equalizer. The source mentions data from OpenAI showing that 75% of enterprise users are now using AI to complete tasks they previously could not do at all. We're not talking about doing old tasks faster. We're talking about whole new capabilities.
That is a staggering statistic, 75%.
It's huge. Because now, take that supply chain manager. He doesn't know Python from a hole in the ground. But he knows that if it rains in Shanghai, the shipping containers get delayed, which messes up the inventory in Chicago.
The coder doesn't know that.
The coder just knows syntax. So the manager just says to the AI, hey, build me a dashboard that tracks the weather in Shanghai and alerts the Chicago warehouse manager 2 days in advance if there's a big storm. And the AI writes the code.
So he didn't need to know how to build it, just what to build.
Exactly. The technical divide just evaporated. The value isn't in the construction anymore. It's in the architecture of the idea.
I mean, the moment of wonder here is really imagining a non-technical marketing director building a complex predictive model in an afternoon. That would have taken a team of engineers a month just a few years ago.
It's incredible.
It really changes how we value skills. So does this mean technical skills are obsolete?
No, not at all. You still need engineers for the deep infrastructure.
Yeah.
But they aren't the gatekeepers of solutions anymore. Understanding the problem is now more valuable than writing the syntax.
But, and there's always a but. To solve those problems, the AI needs to know what you know. It needs your context. And this brings us to the context versus prompting debate. I have to admit, I feel like I spent 2023 and 2024 trying to become a prompt engineer. Act as a world-class copywriter.
Act as a chaotic good rogue.
Right. I was trying to learn all the magic spells. But lately, I feel like even with the best prompts, the AI just sounds generic. It sounds like Wikipedia.
And that's not your fault. You can retire the magic spells.
Right.
The 2026 models are smart enough now to understand vague instructions. If you ask for a summary, it knows what a summary is.
Okay.
The bottleneck isn't how you ask. It's what the AI knows. The source calls this the fact gap.
The fact gap.
Think of it this way. You hire the smartest consultant in the world, a Nobel Prize winner, absolute genius, and you lock them in an empty room with no internet and no files. And you say, write me a strategy for my company.
They can't do it. They have no idea who my company is.
Exactly. They'll give you a generic MBA answer. Focus on synergy. That's what the AI is doing. It's read the entire internet, but it hasn't read your Google Drive. It's smart, but it's blind to your reality.
So the solution isn't better prompting.
No. The solution is better filing. The whole trend is context is king. The companies winning right now, Microsoft, Google, they're the ones who already hold your documents. They can feed that context into the model automatically.
This hits home for me. The article's actionable advice here is clean up your files. And I have to be a little vulnerable here. I suck at this. My digital life is a total disaster. Folders inside folders, Final Draft v3, real final update.pdf.
We all have that file, don't worry.
But you're saying the AI actually punishes me for that?
It does. If the AI can't find the truth because your files are a mess, it just hallucinates. In 2026, organization is the new prompt engineering. If you want the AI to give you a relevant answer, you don't need a poem of a prompt. You need to give it a clean map of your data.
So if I want better answers, I shouldn't learn better words. I should just get organized.
Precisely. The AI needs a map of your world, not a poem of instructions.
We're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about something inevitable ads in your chatbot and something that sounds like sci-fi but is actually happening right now. Robots that get smarter while they sit in the dark. Don't go anywhere.
And we are back. We're deep diving into the reality of AI in 2026. We've talked software, workflows, and why my messy desktop is basically ruining my life. Now let's talk about the physical and economic reality. And the first one is a bit of a bitter pill, ads.
Yeah, we all knew this day was coming, didn't we?
We had this sort of golden age where everything felt free, or at least cheap. But the economic reality of 2026 is that running these massive inference models costs a fortune. It's energy, it's chips, it's cooling, it all adds up. And to keep access democratic like YouTube or Google search, you need an ad-supported tier. But the source makes a really key distinction on how these ads show up.
Because that's the fear, right? That I ask for a pizza recipe and the AI tells me to buy Domino's because Domino's paid them.
Exactly. That would destroy the utility. If I ask an AI, what's the best running shoe for flat feet, and it recommends a brand just because that brand paid for the answer, I stop trusting the AI. Trust is the entire product.
So what's the solution?
The trend we're seeing is display ads, banners, separated from the logic.
So it's more like a sidebar, not baked into the answer itself.
Right. The intelligence stays neutral. The real estate around it gets monetized. It's really the only way to make the math work without ruining the tool.
Yeah, it makes sense. It preserves the integrity of the intelligence. Now let's move from the screen to the real world. Trend number 6 is from chatbots to robots. But we aren't talking about C-3PO walking your dog, are we?
No, and that's where the hype usually goes wrong. We see these demos of humanoid robots doing backflips, and it's cool, but it's not the economy. The real revolution is that existing, boring industrial machines are becoming software platforms.
Capital assets as software. That's the phrase the report used.
Yes. Think about a car or a giant sorting arm in an Amazon warehouse. In the past, you bought a machine, and from the day you bought it, what happened to it?
It depreciated, it got older, it got slower, it wore out.
Exactly. Physical things just get worse with time. But now, with AI integration, your car captures data every time you drive. It uploads that data to the cloud. The central model learns from millions of cars. Then it sends a software update back to your car overnight.
So wait, I wake up and my car handles heavy rain better than it did yesterday.
Right, your car, a physical object, literally learned how to drive better while it sat in the driveway.
It's fascinating. Physical objects used to depreciate, but now they might actually appreciate in capability.
That's the wild concept. We are seeing this with Waymo, with logistics. It's not experimental anymore. The physical world is catching up to the digital world, just on a slightly slower timeline because, well, gravity's harder than code.
Gravity is definitely a feature request we can't patch out. Okay, I want to move to what might be the most philosophical, maybe the most urgent part of this deep dive. The concept of judgment.
This is a real so what of 2026, I think.
We've established that generating content is cheap. Any teenager can generate a sonnet or a Python script. So what's left for us?
Scarcity has shifted to judgment. The source uses a term from researcher Ethan Mollick, the jagged frontier.
The jagged frontier. Explain that to me.
It means that AI is incredible at some things, like coding a website or summarizing a legal document, and surprisingly terrible at others, like basic common sense or complex ethical reasoning. And the line between genius and idiot isn't straight, it's jagged. It moves.
So the human skill, the thing that keeps you employed, really is knowing where that line is.
That's exactly it. It's the ability to spot a confident but wrong answer. We've all seen it. The AI hallucinates a fact, but states it with absolute authority. The report says good judgment adds friction on purpose. You have to be the one to say, wait a second, does this actually make sense?
And it goes deeper than just checking facts. The article talks about invisible decisions. This part actually gave me a bit of a chill.
This is the scary part. We tend to think of AI as an answer machine. We ask it a question, it gives us an answer. But in 2026, AI is increasingly acting as a filter. It ranks your sales leads. It prioritizes your support tickets. It filters your resume pile.
It's deciding what you see before you even see it.
And that means it's deciding what you don't see. Imagine you're a hiring manager. The AI decides that candidate A isn't a good fit because of some weird pattern in the data. Maybe they went to a college the AI doesn't like for some statistical reason.
And I never even see that resume.
You never see it. You lose what they call situational awareness. And these silent errors, they compound over time because everyone is just trusting the dashboard. Oh, the AI says we have no good candidates. No, the AI hid the good candidates from you.
That sounds incredibly dangerous. If we aren't careful, we're just rubber stamping the machine's biases.
That is the risk. We have to audit the defaults. You have to be the annoying person in the room who asks, why did the AI show me this? And what is it hiding?
So the most dangerous thing isn't the AI refusing to work, it's the AI working silently while we blindly trust it.
Yes. Overtrust is the new failure mode. Skepticism is the new safety net.
Okay, let's try to unpack this. We've covered a lot of ground today, from toaster electricity to silent errors in hiring. What is the big idea here? If I'm a listener trying to navigate 2026, what's the recap?
I think the big idea is that waiting is the wrong move. Don't wait for the perfect model because they're all commodities now.
Right.
Don't wait for some magic agent to do your job for you. Build a reliable workflow today.
And don't worry about learning to code if you aren't a coder. Focus on your domain expertise, your knowledge of the problem, and just get your data organized.
Exactly. Clean context beats a fancy prompt every single time. And above all, cultivate your judgment. Be the human who validates, not just the human who operates.
There's a quote from the source that I think sums it all up perfectly. Advantage goes to people who learn faster, not people who wait for certainty.
That's the mantra for 2026. Action over certainty.
Before we sign off, I want to leave you with one thought to chew on. We talked about AI becoming decision infrastructure. If we let AI set our defaults, what news we see, whose emails get flagged as important, which job candidates get an interview, are we still the ones making the decisions? Or are we just becoming the middle management, just approving the machine's choices?
That is the question of the decade. And the answer really depends on whether you're paying attention to those invisible decisions.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.
Stay curious.